I want the world to hear what I said in Bobo Dioulasso this year. If we cannot control what we eat, then we are not free. If we depend on others to feed our children, then we are still colonized. Our freedom starts in the soil, in the seed, and in the hand that sows it. My people, my brothers and sisters of the soil, today I do not speak to you as your head of state. I speak as a son of this land, as a child raised on millet porridge and sorghum flour. I speak as one of you, born of this same dust, fed by the same earth, and committed to its resurrection, not as a piece of land, but as a living force that must rise again with dignity. When we speak of freedom, we must begin by speaking of food. When we speak of sovereignty, we must begin by speaking of the seeds that grow in our soil. And when we speak of Burkina Faso's future, we must speak of sorghum and millet, our ancestral crops, our pride, our survival. In my speech at Ouagadougou's Agrarian Summit in April 2025, I reminded the people, the soil does not lie. The seed does not lie. It is the human being who lies. And if we can return to the honesty of our fields, we will never again bow before anyone. Let the world know this. Burkina Faso is not weak. We are not hungry because we are incapable. We are hungry because our systems were broken. Our lands were stolen by those who promised us aid. Our seeds were replaced by foreign dependencies. But now, under the sun of a new revolution, we are reclaiming our destiny through our own grain, through what our ancestors planted, through what never betrayed us, millet and sorghum. These are not just crops. They are political weapons, spiritual, food and economic fire. In March 2025, under the Presidential Initiative for Agricultural Production and Food Self-Sufficiency IPP3A, we launched a war, not with guns, but with hoes and tractors. A war not of destruction, but of rebirth. We trained over 8,000 youth in the first cohort to learn not just farming, but self-reliance. Each youth was given access to land, tools, and mentorship to return to our traditional crops, the grains that can survive drought, resist the winds, and feed the soul. We are talking about sorghum and millet, crops that withstand what imported rice and hybrid maize cannot. These grains are not new. They are ancient. Sorghum was grown by our grandmothers when colonial borders didn't exist. Millet was the foundation of our diets long before the West introduced refined flour and diabetes to our tables. These are the grains of strength grown. Under the harshest sun, they nourish the strongest warriors. It was millet that fed our soldiers during the great uprisings of the past. It was sorghum that sustained our women through famine. Why then should we abandon what gave us life? Today, we take back that power. As of June 2025, over 30,000 hectares of land under IPP3A are now being used to cultivate millet and sorghum across the Sahel, Center North, and East regions. With the help of agricultural cooperatives, we have built 8 regional seed banks dedicated to native sorghum and millet varieties, free from GMO contamination and patent control. These are ours. No one owns our seeds, but our people. We are in a time of ecological war. Climate change is not coming, it is already here. The rains delay, the rivers dry. But millet does not complain. Sorghum does not betray. They grow where others wither. Why then would we chase crops that need irrigation systems worth millions, when we have grains that need only the hands of a committed farmer and the prayers of an honest people? Do you know what makes sorghum powerful? It grows in temperatures above 40 degrees Celsius with minimal water. It can survive in poor soils and still yield nutritious grain and livestock fodder. It is both food and resilience. Millet, with its small seeds, carries immense strength. It matures in 60 to 90 days, feeding millions before maize can even begin to sprout. These are not just crops. They are our allies in the war against hunger. As of May 2025, we have integrated solar-powered grain mills in 15 villages in the Center-Nord region. These mills are designed specifically for millet and sorghum processing, allowing our women who are the backbone of our food systems to save time and energy. No longer will our sisters spend entire days grinding grain by hand. The revolution respects their labor and returns it with technology. I ask our international friends, do you not see the wisdom in this? Do you not see that our rejection of foreign dependency is not isolation? It is revival. We do not hate the West. We reject the chains they placed on our food systems. When the World Bank funds fertilizers for foreign crops and ignores millet, we know who they are serving. When aid comes with genetically modified seeds and contracts that destroy biodiversity, we say no. Because we have something more powerful than dollars. We have ancestral wisdom and sovereign hunger. The global supply chains are collapsing. Ukraine war, rising fuel prices, fertilizer shortages. But millet does not need synthetic fertilizer. Sorghum does not cry for diesel. They grow with what nature gives and what our farmers understand. This is why Burkina Faso will lead Africa in agro-resistance. Not just agriculture, but agro-resistance resisting colonization of the stomach, resisting the addiction to food, imports, and resisting hunger through sovereignty. Some of you may ask, but President, is millet profitable? I answer this with pride. Yes, and even more than before. In the local markets of Fada, Ngorma, and Kaya, millet prices have increased by 40% due to rising demand and decreased supply. When we process millet into flour, porridge, baby food, and livestock feed, we create industries. We are not just feeding ourselves. We are feeding the economy. 1 hectare of millet now yields up to 1.8 tons under improved techniques, and farmers are earning 3 times more than they did with cotton or maize to make this permanent. My administration has signed agreements with 3 local food cooperatives to establish millet and sorghum processing hubs. These will include dryers, huskers, packagers, and export standard quality control labs. We are not begging the IMF. We are building the IMF, and indigenous millet future. Burkina Faso will no longer be remembered for its suffering. We will be remembered for how we fed ourselves when the world turned its back. We will be remembered for how we turned the most humble grain into the flag of resistance. When the world thought we would kneel, we planted millet. When the world thought we would starve, we grew sorghum. And when the world tried to sell us survival, we cultivated sovereignty. Let it be known, every school child in Burkina Faso will eat millet porridge in our public meal programs. Every military base will stock sorghum grain in its reserves. Every government office will promote the purchase of local grains for events and functions. This is not a suggestion, it is policy. Because it is only through practice that we build pride. I want to remind all of you listening, you do not need permission to grow what your grandfather grew. You do not need a foreign flag to feed your child. You do not need a foreign loan to plant your future. You need courage, unity, and commitment. And in this, I will stand with you, not from the palace, but from the field. Because I, too, am fed by the same ground that birthed millet and sorghum. This is only the beginning. In the next months, under the expanded IPP3A plan, we will reclaim another 50,000 hectares for indigenous crops. We will build local seed nurseries, grain banks, and water catchments. We will not wait for rain. We will bring it. We will not wait for imports. We will replace them. This is not a dream. This is a national strategy, already in motion. The international community is watching. They ask, can Burkina Faso survive alone? I say, we are not alone, we are with the earth, and that is enough. I say, we are not begging, we are building. And I say, the day millet becomes more valuable than imported rice, is the day the world will see that Africa was never poor, just suppressed.